have the same type of legacy as Jodeci?
No. Hell no.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I mean, as far as our,
you talking about JoJo and Casey?
Yeah,
and drunkers.
As far as our generation,
yeah,
I say Jodeci is the number one group. Some might
also don't forget those two little guys,
Jagged Edge was pretty dope, but I don't think they albums was as consistent as Jodeci. And I feel like if anybody, people might. Boys and Men was
Boys and Men was a big group, but I was never a big fan.
I say it's 1A and 1B when it comes to Boys and Men and Jodeci.
You know what it was about Boys and Men for me? Boys and Men was more polished and like more a pop group where they could play on different radio stations. I like the more rugged Jodeci.
It's the image. It's just the image. You know what I'm saying?
The clean cut,
Boys and Men,
choir
like
boys.
Quad boys.
There was urban.
Yeah,
and Jodeci.
I like Jodeci.
Jodeci's like your average.
Look,
I'll slap you today.
I love you to my
look. I like Jodeci. I like Case. You remember when Case was out?
Yes.
And
Jaheim too.
Jaheim? What? Now look, why did Jaheim blow the way he should have? I thought Jaheim's career should have been bigger than what it was.
But when you're in crack killed.
Is that what you think is going on with Jaheim?
I don't know what's going on with Jaheim, but I would say Jaheim got one. He should have been one of the biggest artists of our time because of his voice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because
you wouldn't think Tank, because they came out around the same time, and you wouldn't think Tank would still be around, and Jaheim not.
What? Hey, y'all sleeping on somebody y'all don't mention.
Who?
Joe.
But Joe. Okay, Joe he's part of the good guy. No, he's part of the good guy.
The good image.
Well, I feel like a lot of people
slip on it.
A lot of people want that edgier street R. Kelly.
Because Joe, he's one to make. He makes music
in that category.
Yeah, he makes music for women. You know what I'm saying? And it's not it's the one walk down the street holding hand type. He walk down the street holding hand type music.
Yeah. All right. So look, this is what I used to equate. Is this my only? Am I the only person that thinks this way? I feel like R. Kelly got his style from Aaron Hall.
Mr. Aaron Hall got some.
Do you see some similarities in like?
Because I listen to a lot of.
He was kind of like the first bad boy R&B guy for real, wasn't
he? But the thing about it though, I think the separation was that R. Kelly did it as a solo artist.
And so did Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall was with
Guy
for the longest before
and then he
branched out too. But R. Kelly was with Public Announcement. But they only did one CD, so his career, as far as R. Kelly's career,
it was a greater career.
It took off after he left the group. Can you honestly say that Aaron Hall had a very successful career without Guy?
Yeah, into the drugs. I
don't. I mean, he had
the crack.
He had some good songs, but as far as a successful career,
the same way, like when y'all look at Ray Charles, when the drugs stop getting involved.
Yeah, I mean,
you're successful. You're successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's drugs or alcohol, either or. Yeah.
Okay, so out of that generation, we'll say that. Is this fair to say you have Drew Hill, Jagged Edge, and maybe 112? They're in that same. They're in the same category.
I think they're about the same level.
They're same level.
Yeah, same level. Because I think all of them pretty much broke up after they second or third CD.
Bad boys.
now is that a label situation too? Do you think 112 wasn't a good fit with Diddy?
No, 112 was a good fit with Diddy until they started heading to Atlanta.
Yeah.
They still going back home.
Yeah.
I mean, I think because the golden era of Bad Boys
was coming with the.
You got to have 112 total. Jodeci.
Oh, let me tell you something I heard on a podcast that I didn't know.
What's up?
Check this out. You remember when they were rumors about Death Row East, right? So guess who was gonna head Death Row East?
Pop.
No. Didn't know. Guess who was gonna be the president of Death Row East?
Who?
Eric B.
Eric
B was going to be the president. If you start checking out, they got a couple podcasts out now, right?
Because for the longest, I always felt like when they was talking about Death Row East, Tupac's name was
So look, they had him on a couple shows recently, right?
Right.
And who told the story first? I forgot. They was talking about Eric B. But then they called Eric B. up. So Eric B. is telling the story that he was picked by Suge to be the head of Death Row East, and guess who their first act was going to be?
Who?
Craig Mack. Diddy signed Craig Mack to a 1-album deal. They inked Craig Mack for his second album on Death Row East. And then when the Pac situation happened, all that fell apart.
I think he's one of the most underrated artists of our time too. Craig Mack, his first.
But I know y'all saying that there's somebody y'all sleep who open a lot of door for a lot of rap. Master P.
Yeah.
He
opened the door for the South, definitely.
I mean, could be. I think he was more known for the way the business aspect of music, and not so much of the. I mean,
that music came through with
millions
from '96.
Right.
Everybody in the South was playing P.
But here's what I'm saying though: he gave a lot of people the format of how to put out music and stuff like that. I'm not disputing the music. Yeah, I'm not disputing the music because the music was at that time was the hottest thing out. But what I'm saying is, that's where you come up with the Gucci Man, the Migos.
Where you left 400 Degrees.
Juvenile.
Juvie
I mean, I would say as far as putting out CDs, like, when you went in that era in 97, 96, you can buy a Master P or the CD every week. They was pushing CDs out every week.
Like crack.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, you get a new soccer CD every 3 months. It was dope. It was the concept.
Okay, so let's speak on underground labels from the 90s, right? Independent that are underrated, that people kind of overlook.
Trick Daddy.
I think that was a good one. They had Slip and Slide, right?
Slip and Slide.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you another big one that people overlook, and that was 3-6.
3-6 Mafia.
They had a huge.
Let me see the top.
Huge.
Remember that?
Yeah. I'm gonna be 100 with you. I really couldn't get into
Memphis
3-6 like it
because the culture.
I don't know what it was. I don't.
Because the mindset was focused on the project.
Because I was like more of an 8-ball MJG type of vibe.
Pimp shit.
I'm saying they vibe was, you know what I'm saying?
But listen, when you hear the new what they call trap music, right? The Migos and all that to me sounds like mid '90s. 3-6 Mafia.
It's a branch off of Lil Jon and Eastside Boys.
Off of 3-6.
Crunk music. Trap is a branch off of crunk music where they done took it to a different level.
But crunk was a branch. Crunk was a branch off of all that old Memphis music.
Yep.
It was off all that old. If you go back to the 3-6 Mafia, the whole Hypnotized Minds camp, for about a decade straight, they were putting out those beats.
I mean, you always got to say organized noise. The Goody Mouse, the Outkast, and but and then that's the
thing. Were they a label?
Yeah.
They didn't put a label. They just kind of like a little click.
Yeah.
Right, but they still didn't get the recognition that they deserve. Outkast made some heck of music, right?
They got no Miss City coming out.
They do?
Yes.
You know what?
It's about time. It's time.
You know what? They get the recognition just so not much in the black community.
Who? Outkast?
Yeah, like in other communities.
The urban, like the white urban.
Yeah, they love
Outkast.
I love Outkast.
Andre, one of my favorite rappers.
I think what Pimp C and Bun B, they didn't get the recognition that they deserve as a group.
But the Texas,
the movement. Yeah. It was so underground.
You riding dirty. Y'all remember when the communists come in?
So I got a question. Would you put Texas as part of the South movement?
It is.
Okay, I mean, because I always felt like
Louisiana.
Yeah, I always felt like it was a little bit different than when I say
it's Southwest.
Yeah, I always thought you say South, you talk about Memphis, Atlanta,
historical Georgia,
Louisiana.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even because I put Louisiana like part of the Texas type. But because
it branches, because they kind of can relate with the West Coast a little bit.
Yeah, the borders.
Yeah. I mean, but I also feel like it's crazy because I feel like St. Louis, Midwest was the only
Chicago.
Well, yeah. Let me take it back. Midwest. I don't feel like Midwest actually had a moment in rap where they were the dominant.
They haven't been dominant,
right?
They've been dominant like in R&B, but not in.
When the boy from Cincinnati, what were the Bun Thug?
Yeah.
Bone Thugs. But when you look at Bone Thugs, would you say? I mean, even though they was out of the Midwest, would you say they represented the Midwest? Because I always felt like
they represented Cleveland.
They represent Cleveland, but I always feel like they under the Easy. Yeah, they under the Easy umbrella.
Yeah.
So you know, so. Like right now, like you know, saying like Kentucky, like Louisville's being represented real heavy right now because you got Blasian coming up, you got Jack Harlow, you got
Markey,
right? You got Markey, you got Bryson.
We're gonna have all those people up here except for Bryson. He want to get
right. So we got Mars.
We
you know,
him when he was in the Hillman building.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I used to do showcases on Southside Drive. He was like walking that little Papa John, like you know, after he get out from the restaurant and come straight doing.
So you knew about him? Wait a minute, let's go back a little bit, right?
All the Sasha Wilson, they start with me.
Wilson, how long you been doing this music thing? I think I need to write an article on your story.
Was it part of was you part of Underground Mafia? Was you heard at that scene, or was you a little bit after that?
How long you been in Louisville?
Before that, I've been in Louisville for 21 years.
Okay, so you came here what 96, 97?
I came in Louisville in 99.
99. Okay.
So all the Sasha Renee, all that kind of stuff, they under me.
Okay.
All those right here, like you know, because my thing used to be called Unfinished My Check.
Okay.
So we used to win that little rent hall on Southside Drive. It's a Mason place.
Okay, it's like a little
Mason
union hall or something.
Yeah. Okay. That's where we start. Matter of fact, the guy who found that put all those guys on the spotlight. Right now, he's in Atlanta. He's one of my little African boy from. I think he's from not Kenya. DJ Babu. Right now he got if you go to Babu.com, he got a big studio in Atlanta.
Okay.
So he left here about 4 years ago.
Is that where KY Finest is he with them?
I don't know.
Okay.
So we started that throwing bars we used to watch when Joe Budden's, all that kind of stuff,
I couldn't even get in Joe Budden.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When they was to throw, even, we was in there before Dope 16. We was out before them.
Yeah?
Yes.
You don't like Joe Budden's music?
I can't get in there. I like it more as a podcast.
Wait a minute. But hold on. Have you listened, not the album, not the Pump It Up, right? You never listened to his mixtapes?
I'm not one of my. I'm not one of. Nah,
that's probably one of the pure lyricists that's ever been in hip hop.
I think he got a lot of credit. I don't think I'm just saying it to me. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't pick him in my top 10 all time.
You never listened to the group collab that they had on Shady?
No.
Why not?
Woo! We gotta get you some hip hop.
I mean, I guess because I was raised off of Pop and Biggie, the South. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard for me to branch
your ear to listen.
Because when you heard Pop or you heard Biggie, you know what I'm saying? In the era that we heard them, we related to them. We connected to their music so much. If it wasn't on that type of level, it probably wasn't getting played. Like,
see, I was like that about the Rakims and all that, like way before them.
Yeah, because I feel like I feel like
you know what I'm
saying. I feel like it's certain artists like Jay-Z, Nas,
like Jadakiss.
But those are mainstream,
right? But I'm saying, what they lyrics and what they spoke of related to the things that we was coming up with.
But let me tell you, I'm a hip hop head.
Jadakiss.
I like Jadakiss. I like Jadakiss.
Freeway.
Yeah, I think a lot of them, but I don't think Jadakiss, in my opinion, would have been bigger by himself than he was with the group. Lyrically,
with the Rough Riders and all that.
Well, look, I live and breathe hip. I love it, right? So sometimes some of these underground acts are a lot better than the mainstream acts to get the deal, right? And Slaughterhouse was one of those groups. Like Slaughterhouse was Joe Budden, Royce, Joel Ortiz, and who's the fourth member? I can't even think right now. But they were on Shady. They put out 3 albums on Shady, right? I'm talking about raw lyricism. Like they weren't worried about beats or whatever, just raw talent of lyrics.
I had listened to a couple of Joel Ortiz music, and I thought,
man, they hot.
I thought he was pretty. I listened to a couple of Royce the Five, but as far as somebody that, okay, and this is the question I have for y'all.
Go ahead.